These are Beninese or Edo writers. Now, this fellow said that Oromia, if it is true, was the one who gave birth to Iweka. And in his exploit, in his wars of Iweka, he conquered the Ijaw people. And let us say that that was in the 12th century. We know that Benin can never conquer the smallest Ijaw village.
Okay, for some days now, my notifications have not known peace. People have been tagging me under this particular video, the one you just watched. One person first tagged me, then another, then they started sending it to my DMs, into my inbox. And at that point, I just said, fine, let me go and see what historical bombshell Uncle Fernandez Pinocchio has dropped this time. Because the people tagging me said Asari Dokubo has finally destroyed Benin history. They said he came with historical facts. He came with historical receipts. They say, in fact, Benin don't finish. Asari Dokubo don't finish history. Then I said to myself, okay, maybe this man must have uncovered some brand new Portuguese manuscript. Or maybe he found an Arabic chronicle nobody has ever seen. I was like, so let me see it. So I watched it. I was actually expecting evidence. But instead, I got 45 seconds of confidence, 10 seconds of contradictions, and over an hour, 4 minutes of what can only be described as historical word salad with remarkably little historical documentation. And that is the biggest problem, because Africa has developed a dangerous habit. We no longer test history with evidence. We test it with confidence. If you speak loudly enough and confidently enough, many people assume you must know what you are talking about. History doesn't work that way. So instead of arguing, let's investigate.
All this talk about Benin was just 419 from the very beginning. You know why I started knowing that Benin is 149 was when I started researching on their so-called antifacts. And I discovered that none of them is older than 600 years. I said, wow. The antifact in my village, they are more than 1,000 years old. The Oduma antifact, the oldest in this part of the world.
No, sir. Respectfully, no. In fact, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes responding to that, because that particular claim has already been answered by archaeology, by carbon dating, by historical records, by UNESCO, and about 5 seconds of Google. Just Google. And if someone still believes that mumbo jumbo in 2026, there is not much I can actually add. So I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to sit that one out, because what interests me are the claims that sound convincing, the ones people repeat because they assume nobody will ever check them. And this is one of them. Take a listen.
I said, their Oba is beneath me. I'm far greater than him. In Africa, when kingdoms and rulers were being recognized, on the 2nd of October 1850, that was when Britain first addressed an African ruler a king. If not, they called them prefect. They called them all sorts of derogatory names. It was that 2nd of October 1850. The documents are there. And the person they first recognized was King Amakri. After him, on the 3rd of October, the king of Benin was recognized. And Benin was not recognized until 1851.
Now, this is where the claim becomes historically serious and important, because it did not merely say King Amakri received a particular British letter on 2nd October 1850. He went further. He presented 2nd October 1850 as the moment, the first time King Amakri was recognized by Britain. then followed by King Pepo on 3rd October 1850, while claiming that Benin was not similarly recognized until 1851. That is a specific historical claim. But immediately, we encounter a problem. What exactly does it mean by recognized? Recognized as a king? Recognized as a sovereign ruler? Recognized through a treaty? Or formally addressed by the British government using a particular diplomatic title? Those are not automatically the same thing. Asari did not define the category. He simply gave us dates and presented them as though their meaning were obvious. No, it is not. The meaning is not obvious at all. And so the argument is presented as though African rulers had not previously been recognized or referred to as kings. Those are serious claims. Those are enormous claims. So before we continue, right, let us separate three different things. One, a British official directly addressing a ruler, an African ruler, in diplomatic correspondence. Two, a British writer describing an African ruler as a king. And three, Britain formally recognizing a particular political authority. These are not necessarily the same thing. But Uncle Asari did not give us that careful distinction. He gave us an absolute claim. So let us test that absolute claim. Let's ask a simple question. Were African rulers already being described as kings decades or even centuries before 1850?
On the 2nd of October 1850, that was when Britain first addressed an African ruler a king.
So let's leave social media for a moment. Let's leave social media for a second, right? Let's open some books, like rare books. Let's go to history, okay? You know, every time where they do video, they go they tell me, say, I be mumu, I be ignorant, book them my back, I know they read them. Anyways, yeah, this is Willem Bosman, and this is Ferdinand Ludwig Romer. Now books be this, so when I say anytime where they do video, when I say I be mumu, say I know they read them. So they are not for decorations. See books here. And I don't see now say I they read them, right? Okay. So this one, this is Ludwig Ferdinand Romer. And this one is Willem Bosman. You see, both of them are European writers, okay? So may I drop this one first. They are not decorations. They are to be read. I did read them. So may I drop this one. Right? Now, this one. This is a new and accurate description of the coast of Guinea by Willem Bosman. The English edition was published in 1705, as in 1705. That is approximately 145 years before the October 1850 of Uncle Asari. And Uncle Asari said no African king was recognized as king before 2nd October 1850. So let's see whether African rulers were being called king. Okay, let's open this book. I bookmarked some page here. Let's go to page 397. The king of Great Adra, instead of making a proper use of this wholesome advice, laughed at it. You see, the king of Adra. Adra was in the territory of what is now the Republic of Benin. King. Let's go to page 423, because there it repeatedly mentioned king. Let's go.